Hasmik Vartharasyan is strong-willed. She was, even when she was a little kid.
I was born in Armenia, 2008. When I was 2 years old, I moved to Turkey with my mom.
Hasmik's mom took the two of them to Istanbul so she could get a better paying job. That's where Hasmik grew up. They occasionally came back to visit Armenia. Once, she was here when she was 10.
And I was speaking Turkish sometimes, and people, they were hearing it and was like, why you speak Turkish or why you live there? All the time they ask same question, maybe thousands of times.
Her stepdad was with her. He is an Armenian from Turkey and didn't grow up speaking Armenian. So the two of them talked to each other in Turkish. One day, they were at a grocery store.
And my stepfather told me, I'm gonna get and grab an orange or apple juice, like you wait here. And there was, I don't know, a manager, a worker. This woman approached me and said, are you Turk? And I was like, what? Like, I didn't do anything. I'm standing here. And I said, no, I'm not Turkish. My father's not Turkish. We just came from Turkey, but like, we're Armenians from Turkey. So I explained 5 minutes this situation to a stranger. But that kind of things happened a lot. Yeah.
This was one of her first times back home, but it's typical of how people treat her. Hasmik always stands her ground like this. She won't back down when someone is rude, and she's never afraid to express her opinion. In our last episode, we talked all about Hrant Dink School, a small underground school in Istanbul. It's for the children of migrant families from Armenia who went to Turkey for work. There's nowhere else in Turkey like it. They prepare students to return to Armenia for high school and then make their life here, back home. But what happens next? What is it like for a young Armenian who went to Turkey when she was a toddler and then returned to Armenia as a teenager? That's Hasmik.
I'm between Istanbul and Yerevan, and I don't have like a certain place where I want to live forever because I love both places.
When she graduated from Hrant Dink School in 2023, she left her family and moved back to Armenia. It should have been a homecoming, but things didn't go as expected. During that short visit to Armenia when she was 10, she wanted to post online about her trip, but she was so young. Her mom said no. But now she's a teenager and she has been posting online a lot. Much of it is about her relationship with Armenia and Turkey. Hasmik has this rare trait, a deep connection to both countries. She believes that's an asset for Armenia, but some people don't like to hear what she has to say. Because even though Hasmik was prepared for Armenia, Armenia was not prepared for her. Welcome to Country of Dust, Stories of a Changing Armenia. This episode, Homecoming. I am Gohar Khachatryan. When Hasmik first moved to Armenia, she was anxious. She was a teenager, staying with her extended family, living without her parents for the first time. But she and her mom stayed very closely in touch.
I always tell my mother, like, where I'm going, what I'm doing. Like, I'm going to meet my friends or I'm going to this mall. So, yeah.
So even though she's in another country, you're messaging her everything.
Yeah.
But she was really excited to be back. This is where she saw her future, even though she felt like she didn't quite fit in. And there was one question everyone would ask her.
Aren't you afraid of Turks? And I said no, and they were all surprised. I said, do you know why you are scared? Because you don't know them and you didn't talk to them. And I have lived there for 12 years and I had a conversation with them every single day. And I started to realize that Armenians don't know anything about Turks. Some of them said that they don't even want to go to Turkey because as an Armenian, if you go to Turkey, it's a shame, they said.
Her first day at her new school, everyone was asking her questions about Turkey. Not just the students, but the teachers, and even the principal. It started as people being curious, but then it became hostile.
When people know you came from Turkey, some people treat you very bad.
She says before she arrived, students at the school knew she was coming. They heard that there was a girl who had grown up in Turkey. They had a group chat where they made plans to bully her once she arrived.
The students were acting like a child or like 4 or 5-year-old kid. It was so bad.
And it wasn't just the students.
My Armenian language teacher made a mistake during the class, and I said, I think this should be like this way. I don't know, but can you like explain this to me? I told the teacher, and the teacher like said, how would you dare to correct my mistake? You are from Turkey. How can you like know our language?
She says not one person in the school was nice to her. She would come home every day crying. She told her mom that she wanted to transfer to another school. But she was committed to staying in Armenia.
When I was going to Hranding school in Turkey, I have always promised myself when I go back to Armenia, I'm going to live there. It gives me happiness when I live in Armenia.
She was able to switch schools. And right away, it was better.
There were like so many amazing people, and I met them, and every day woke up early and went to school because it was like so much fun and interesting, and I had very good friends, so yeah.
You were excited to go to school.
Yeah.
But the harassment wasn't just at her school. Back when she was 10, her mom hadn't wanted her to post videos. But now she was 15.
She said, okay, if you want to do that, but be careful.
She started posting things like hanging out with her friends.
I was always posting them, like I was so excited, so.
Then, in the summer, she was taking a trip away from Armenia to visit her mom and family back in Istanbul.
I was going to the airport and I was like flying by myself for the first time.
There was a trend going around on TikTok where people would post about their travels by combining 2 videos. One video shot before they left and one at their destination.
When I filmed it, like the half of it I filmed it in Yerevan and the half of it in Turkey.
When she got to Istanbul, she recorded a Turkish flag to show where she was.
It was just when I like came out from the airport and there was a flag, and I just like made a video, and the last clip was that flag.
Hasmik's page was open, which means anyone online could see her videos. And one unique thing about TikTok is that it's really easy for an unknown person to have their post get extremely popular. If your video starts gaining momentum, TikTok will show it to people who don't know you, and that can snowball into an avalanche of views.
The next day when I woke up, I saw that it got 500,000 views. And
500,000?
Yes.
Wow.
It had exploded overnight.
And it was like really shocking for me, and I just like made videos for myself, and I didn't know that people would like watch my videos that much. And the comments of that video, like 70-80% were negative.
The flag was unremarkable to her. She grew up seeing it everywhere around Istanbul. But in Armenia, you never see the Turkish flag. It triggers people. People were calling her a traitor.
People were like, why are you going to Turkey? You're Armenian. What are you doing there? Why are you going to the enemy country?
Hasmik saw a lot of questions in the comment section.
And I said, you know what? I'm gonna make a video answering all these questions, not to convince people like to believe in something they don't want to know, but like to show them like what our life looks like in Turkey, or what's different, how Armenians live here, because they do not know anything about it.
She talked it over with her mom. She decided to make a second video. It would be a list. 5 facts about Armenians in Turkey.
In that video, I told that there's Armenian community in Istanbul that many people didn't know. I talked about the Armenian schools, and I told that after the Armenian genocide, we are the Armenians who keep Armenian culture and traditions in Istanbul alive.
Since Hasmik hadn't spent much time in Armenia, there are parts of the culture here that she was still learning about. Her mom wanted to help her understand how people would feel about the video. So she explained how viscerally many Armenians react to anything about Turkey, especially after the 2020 Artsakh war. She said,
even if you're gonna talk or make videos about that, like think 10 times and after like make a video.
Hasmik shot the video and posted it.
It was 12 a.m. and I was like holding my phone and I was like, Mom, I'm posting it. My mom said, Hasmik, I'm nervous. Like, are you sure you want to do that? Because people are gonna criticize you about that. And I said, no, I'm posting. And the next day I woke up and I saw like, I don't know what, how so many people like watched my videos, and it was insane. I saw that, and the next day my video got over 500,000 views, and it was shocking for me.
Hundreds of people had commented on it, saying things like, Armenians shouldn't live in Turkey. They said that Hasmik wasn't Armenian, or that she was spreading propaganda.
And I remember I read all the comments on that video, and I never thought that there would be so much negative comments. So I read all of them and responded them. But my mom told me, like, Hasmik, you're not gonna respond 700 people.
Back in Armenia, as she continued posting, people kept messaging her. There were hundreds of messages. She could only respond to a few, but she found even the angry ones meaningful.
When I read negative messages, they were usually like people who lost their like maybe brother, father, or like their relatives in the war, and like telling their stories, but like in a negative way. But I was trying to understand them.
Hasmik's own grandfather fought in the 2020 war and lost his home. She cared about what these people were telling her, but she still felt like her posts were important. There were many positive messages too. People said that they didn't know much about Turkey and wanted to learn more. And there were Turkish people who told her stories about how their families had Armenian roots that they had kept hidden for decades.
All these stories are like a book for me.
These conversations are what make it worth it for her.
It gives me like good energy, and I like feel better because you communicate with people. If you post videos and you do not communicate with people, it's not like you're not completing your mission.
Because she does have a mission. There is a reason she keeps posting, despite all the offensive comments.
My mom asked me a question, said, Hasmik, why are you doing this? What will like it give to yourself? And I thought about that, and I want to do a good thing for my country.
She is hoping that she can help Armenians understand their neighbor better.
And I'm not saying that we should have a good relationships with Turkey, but I'm also like trying to show Armenian people the other side, because like they always heard that Turkey is an enemy country, like they're not human, and that's it. And I'm just trying to show the other side. I really enjoy doing that.
Hasmik wants to complicate the narrative. But how do you do that? She started posting language videos. It felt like a neutral way in.
Ինչքան ես այս հարցին պատասխանեմ, մեկը մարդիկ միշտ էլի հարցնում են, քանի լեզվով ես խոսում, դրա համար եկեք այս թրենդը մի հատ էլ անենք։
This is one of Hasmik's posts where she talks about the 5 languages she speaks: Armenian, Turkish, Russian, English, and Azerbaijani, which she learned after the 2020 war.
İkinci bildiğim dil Türkçe çünkü 14 senedir Türkiye'de yaşıyorum ve ana dilimden sonra en akıcı konuşabildiğim dil zaten Türkçe. Burada yaşayıp ve burada büyüdüğüm için.
That's her speaking Turkish.
People always told me, can you teach us Turkish? And my mom told me, if you teach language, I think people will not hate you as much as they do now. Because in Armenia, there is a phrase that you should know your enemy's language.
She started with Turkish and eventually taught Azerbaijani too.
And people really liked it and said, Hasmik, can you please continue? We like this content. And I said, okay.
Her followers told Hasmik that they were getting information they couldn't get anywhere else. She had built this audience that she was interacting with. And she was getting well known enough that she would get recognized around Yerevan.
I was walking in the street and I didn't expect it that people would know me when I came to Armenia. And are you Hasmik Vartresyan? Are you Hasmik Vartresyan? And I was shocked. Can I take a picture with you? I said, guys, I'm not famous. I'm just like making videos.
But she was also well known enough that celebrities started to react to her. And the backlash started to get a lot worse.
Վերջերս իմ ընկերներից մեկը ինձ Instagram-ը ուղարկել էր մի տեսահոլովակ, կարծեմ TikTok-ից վերցրած.
There is a YouTube program called Otsi Lezu. It translates to snake's tongue. The show discusses current events in Armenia. It is hosted by 2 TV personalities who are known for interviewing famous singers and actors. On one of their episodes, they brought up Hasmik and her videos.
Ես կարծում եմ, որ առաջին հերթին Հասմիկ Վարդերեսյան անունով այս աղջիկը պիտի հանձնի ԴՆԹ տեստ, պարզի արդյոք թե որ հատվածն եւ կա արդյոք իր արյան մեջ թուրքի արյուն.
And they called me Turk, that I should take a DNA test, that my father and mother didn't raise me right.
They accused her of doing propaganda for Turkey.
Որը իհարկե սարսափելի է, վատ է, շատ վատ է.
And I was like, are you insane? And I wrote him and said, do you know that you did this? Your followers came to my page and like they were writing so bad comments. And I said, why would you do this?
She says their response was to send her a message of laughing emojis. Hasmik told them that if they aren't interested in her videos, then they should just ignore her.
They felt happy that they talk bad about someone they don't even know. It's useless to argue with this kind of people. They think I will care, but I'm not.
Things were getting overwhelming. Each post continued to get 600 or 700 comments. On TikTok, people often respond to a popular video by posting a video of their own, a reaction video. Hasmik was getting dozens of them. Then, one man, who looked like he could be in his 50s, posted a few reaction videos. He said,
we will find this girl and we'll kill her, things like that. And
he said her school address. Hasmik's mom saw the video in Istanbul.
My mother really got overwhelmed and was like panicking.
She contacted Hasmik.
She said, did you see this video? And I was like, no, I'm in I have a class, I can't watch videos in my telephone. So later mom said, no, get out of the class and watch it.
Hasmik's aunt came to the school and she took Hasmik to the police.
And the police said,
we can't do anything. He said to me, what do you expect from me to do? I can't do anything. And I was really shocked. So even though I went to the police, they did nothing.
They told her that this man had already been arrested multiple times. So it was better if she just avoided him. This happened months ago. but it still affects her.
When I go out, like I look like who is walking behind me or next to me, I don't know, to feel, I don't know, safe maybe, or make sure that this person doesn't follow me.
It had all gotten to be too much. Hasmik deleted TikTok.
I didn't tell my mother, my aunt, nobody, and I just for myself deleted that account. Maybe in the future, maybe when I feel safe, I will do it again, but not for now. For now, I'm just doing Instagram, so in Instagram, people, like, even if they don't agree with you, they will not talk bad about you.
So she continued her same posts, but just on Instagram. Though the last time we talked with Hasmik, her Instagram account had been disabled. She believes someone hacked it.
Do you regret doing the TikTok videos?
No. Not even once I regret it. Because I know what I'm doing, and when you are sure what you're doing, I think nothing will stop you back.
Why have people gotten so upset at her? Obviously, Armenians have a lot of problems with Turkey. But what has gotten people so worked up that a man would threaten to come to her school and kill her?
I don't know, if I be honest, but
Turkey has always been a painful topic for Armenians. But after the 2020 war and the loss of Artsakh, emotions are especially raw.
we've been through a lot, and psychologically it affected us. My mom told me that when you make videos about Turkey, there are some people who don't even want to hear that name. And even if you are just giving an information, they don't want to hear anything.
The whole point of Hasmik spending 12 years going to Hranding school in Istanbul was so that she could move back to Armenia. But when she returned home, there were Armenians who hated her simply because she had grown up in Turkey. Would she have preferred to just stay in Istanbul?
When I came, yeah, it was hard, but I really enjoyed being here in Armenia. And if there was like an opportunity to stay in Istanbul, like to continue my education there, I don't know. I think I wouldn't have stayed. So yeah.
Even after everything she's been through, she doesn't regret having come back to Armenia. But right now, Hasmik is leaving. After 15 months of trying to make a life here, she is moving back to Turkey. There are a lot of reasons. It started when she was talking with one of her friends who she went to school with in Istanbul. That friend had been accepted to study at Istanbul University.
And she said, Hasmik, don't you see that how people in Armenia react to your opinions or thoughts?
Hasmik wants to study political science, and she started to feel like she couldn't stay in Armenia and learn what she wanted to learn.
I am sure that I don't want to like continue my education in any university of Armenia.
So she wants to finish school in Turkey and then transition to university there. She says the decision to leave is mostly about going to the right school, not about the harassment.
It's not like the biggest part like of my decisions.
But she also just misses living with her mom, her stepdad, and her brother. All of these reasons add up. Hasmik was taught that her homeland is her home. But it might not be that simple. Because Armenia hasn't exactly given her a warm welcome. And she isn't the only one who has had these difficulties. So have her classmates who she went to school with in Istanbul.
Like when I visit them and I ask them, how was your school? Like when people knew you were from Turkey, what they were doing. And like most of the time they were telling me that the teachers were acting rude and like disrespectful, or students were bullying them, and like school didn't do anything about that.
The same as what happened to her. Even though she's leaving, Hasmik is far from done with Armenia. There is a reason why she wants to study political science.
I want to be the president of the Republic of Armenia in the future.
She says it sounds like a silly dream, but she's serious about it. She wants to lead Armenia either as president or as prime minister. She already has her political platform ready.
I think that people should vote for me because, first of all, I want to develop the economy of the Armenia. And also, it's very important to solve conflicts with the neighbors. For some people, it seems unbelievable to solve these problems with Azerbaijan and Turkey, but I don't say that they have to be good or peaceful, no. But the most important thing for me is relationships with our neighbors.
She, of course, knows it's complicated, but she thinks that it's essential to have a diplomatic relationship with Turkey and Azerbaijan, which we don't have right now. She wants Armenia to do basically what she has been doing, trying to figure out some way to communicate across the divide. She wants to do this even though, or maybe because, she has been harassed by so many people here. At a supermarket when she was 10, by her classmates and teachers in high school, and online by celebrities and by people who said they wanted to kill her.
Do you feel like Armenia failed you?
No, I actually, like, when I first came to Armenia, I thought like that. But why should I stop loving my country just because there are like some bad people? That's what I think.
Country of Dust is created and produced by Nadia Abrahamian, Jeremy Dalmas, and Gohar Khachatryan. Sound engineering and music by Jeremy Dalmas. This episode was made possible with generous support from the H. Hovnanian Family Foundation, the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation, and the Hrant Dink Foundation. A big thank you to all the supporters of our crowdfunding campaign. We couldn't have made this season without your help. And thank you for tuning in. We would love it if you could spread the word about the show. And if you want to support the show, go to countryofdust.com.